everyone, and welcome back to the Roger channel. And guys, I am really excited right now because we're about to review this. This is the Star Wars Black Series Maul from Maul's Shadow Lord line. Taking a look at the front of the box, of course it is in the newer Galaxy Wave sort of like look, but nonetheless, it looks awesome. We get the Black Series logo, the figure, and the accessories shown in this window, the name of the character, and the number which he falls into line, the name of the lineup he's from, and a few little symbols, things like that. And then on this side, we get this amazing artwork of Maul inside of a hallway. And at the moment, I do have the other figures, coming through the mail, so I'm hoping that they arrive on time, but I do have the complete first wave of Maul figures, and once we have them all together, I'll be sure to line them up so it showcases the mural. And in the back, you get a bigger portrait shot of the character, a description, the number which falls to the line, and some warnings down here. Here's the side of the box, bottom, and top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox him. And here he is out of the packaging. And take a closer look at Maul. He looks very sinister. I just love the overall look of what I'm seeing so far. And of course, we'll be going in depth and in detail, starting up here at the head. So taking a look at the head sculpt, it looks really good. Of course, Maul does come pre-equipped with one of his accessories, which is this cape of his, or this cloak, that we see in the series. So really awesome look, and we will be taking a closer look at that in a bit. But for the time being, I'll just go ahead and remove it so we can check out that head sculpt. Look at that. So here is a closer look at Maul's head sculpt, and oh boy, they nailed it. Look at that grin of his. My gosh. He has some really nice printing in the eyes. The overall look with his tattoos and stuff looks great. Of course, you can see that grin or that snarl expression looks great as well. Just love the coloring. And of course, you got those Zabrak horns up on top, and they still are very sharp. But yeah, I am definitely in love with that amazing detail right there. And as far as the articulation goes, he does have some decent movement right here in the neck and the top of the head. So you get plenty of articulation, side to side, back and forward. Taking a look at the torso, he does of course have this sort of like tunic piece, and it is exposed right here, showing some of his chest and the tattoos that go running throughout it. The tunic itself is very nice. Of course, it runs down into this black color, and then for the most part, it does come with this sort of like brown undershirt. And he does have a ball joint right here in the lower waist, so you're side to side, back, and forward. Check out the arms now. The arms themselves do go out pretty far. They do go around very nicely, as you just saw. Butterfly joint for extra movement. His elbow joint goes up right there. He has a swivel at the elbow and articulation at the wrist and at the hand. The other side as well. Arm to stick out right there. It does go all the way around. Of course, that double elbow joint, swivel at the elbow, and again, movement at the wrist and at the hand. These two like shoulder pad pieces are connected within that shoulder piece, so just keep that in mind. They aren't part of the actual tunic. Taking a look at the waist, he does have this sort of like belly warmer or like a wrap that goes around his waist that sort of helps out right there with that tunic. And as far as any functions, he does have a little connector piece for his lightsaber hilt, and that's about it. And that's pretty much all of the little, as far as like accessories I can see on this belt. Looking at the legs now, he is able to go almost into a full-on split. He sits down very nicely. Legs go back about there. He does have a swivel right here around the thigh area and runs down to this brown pant. And then it runs down here into his cybernetic legs, which again are probably the coolest thing about this figure. I love how it transitions from this, look because you can definitely feel the difference in the material. It's a lot more, obviously chrome and things like that. So it feels really neat. Um, and the knee joints themselves are really cool. You can go into a kneeling position right there. They lock into place just nicely, and also the feet themselves are cool. They do point down, they point up, and you do get some rock wrinkles to get some good action poses. And of course, before we move on to the accessories, we can talk about the other accessory that is included with Maul, which is his Shadow Lord cloak right here. It is a soft goods cloak, so I really like that a lot. And I also like the way that it naturally, lays down upon his head without having to crinkle it or things like that to get the actual look. I mean, look how neat that looks. And I also think it helps having those little horns of his so that way it kind of pins it down. But, I mean, look at that. There's no, extra fabric back here and having to mess with it. They did a really good job designing this cloak. I'm going to give props to them for that. And now taking a look at the included accessories, it's his lightsaber. Now, you can't have Maul without his iconic lightsaber. And of course, we'll be taking a look at these hilts separately, starting off with this one. This is the original half of his lightsaber hilt from, back in the day. So it looks really good. It has this silver finish to it, a very thick emitter right here, the 2 buttons, and this beautiful red blade to complete it. And then taking a look at the second part of the hilt, it is a very nice lightsaber that is shown in the final season of the Clone Wars. I don't remember exactly how he got a hold of this lightsaber hilt, but it looks nice overall. You get like this black grip at the bottom, this sort of like I can't remember on the top of my mind, but like those little thumb like needle things, whatever they're called, for sewing. It reminds me of one of those, like a thimble, I think it's called. So really cool design, and of course, again, that beautiful red blade. And of course, you can rock them, side by side like he does in the series, or to give it its iconic look, it does have the connection piece, so you connect it into this long lightsaber. And you also get a little belt clip piece right here on the side. And check that out. That looks awesome. He's able to hold it on very nicely with the palm of his hands. And then, of course, whether you want to keep on the lightsabers and things like that, you always have the option to take off the blades. And then we're going to go ahead and stick the lightsaber little accessory piece right here on the side. And there you go. And then real quick, before we go into the overview, I did want to do a quick comparison between the new Maul from Shadow Lord and Maul from the Clone Wars. And right away, you can tell a big difference, which is the sort of color that they chose for like the red. The Clone Wars version is a much deeper red, as you can see right there, where the Maul from Shadow Lord is a lot more bright and vibrant. I also like how, it's the same similar sort of like look to him. They didn't change up too much other than that small change. Kind of like the little bits of like printing things in there are slightly different, as you can tell in the eyes, but besides that, they're both really cool. And now going into the overview of the figure, 10 out of 10. This is a great way to start up a new lineup for the Black Series and a great addition to any collection. If you guys haven't gotten the chance to watch the Maul series, you guys definitely need to, because the hype is real. And I'm really happy that they didn't mess up anything with this Maul figure and actually made it better than some of the recent releases, especially with that cloak. That's probably one of the best accessories I've seen. The overall look of Maul is, again, 10 out of 10. Just the overall attention to detail in that outfit and the likeness of the character really is brought out through this figure. And for it being a newer release, this one is definitely on the top of my list. But yeah, overall I have no complaints for this figure, and I can't wait to review the rest of this lineup. So if this is something that you're really excited for, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out, and also follow me on Instagram so you get the latest news. And with that said, I'll leave it here, and I'll catch you all on the next one.